opening gateway in the magic of eight through the eight Earth magic festivals in the Wheel of the Year. And so Imbolc, we are so just excited to be here with an extraordinary guest and a human being, a deep, deep soul friend. Dave Hoover, I want to begin by welcoming you. Please come off of mute so everyone can see you and hear you. Here he comes, our great Celtic harpist and musician of so many things.
So glad to be here and to be celebrating the return of the sun and the goddess welcoming us into this new sprouting of ourselves. So thanks for having me, and I look forward to sharing some of the stories.
Oh, thank you, Dave. So excited. So Masood is next to me. Masood, Dave, and I, and Kavita Kat McMillan, we had this amazing journey together a couple years ago up in Northern California. And we had like a week together at this retreat. And I am not even kidding when I tell you that Moose and I were every single kirtan or event or yoga class, Dave came out with another instrument. And he was like, even to the very last moment of the retreat where we were all packing up our cars, Dave brought out more instruments that we had never heard him play. And I was like, what? And so we're just so inspired by you. And this is the gateway Imbolc of extraordinary inspiration. So what better way is to be inspired by each other and in the power of community. So thank you, Dave. And you all are going to be deeply blessed in this journey by his amazing heart, his bardic nature as a storyteller and a weaver of the stories and through the music, and it's so alive. So deepest blessings and welcome to you.
Thank you. Welcome.
Yeah, and we're gonna have an opening invocation in a moment. So the way that this is gonna flow, now, if you have a few ritual items with you from that What to Bring, that will be great. And if you don't have them, don't worry, because you will be able to continue in this ritual celebration all week. So the first of the earth magic is called Imbolc, and I'll take you like on a journey to help you to really understand, but it's the midpoint between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. And it's considered one of the Celtic four fire festivals that are in between the solstices and the two equinoxes. Now, 30 years ago, I met my Irish teacher exactly 30 years ago, as a matter of fact, and Gina McGarry, and she's a great devotee of Bridget. So I entered the gateway through the power of the grace of the goddess as Bridget, she of the triple flame of healing and poetry and of smithcraft, she who is that empowerment of the flowing spirit of Awen, which we're going to open by chanting and singing together in just a moment. And Bridget is, for me, like I think of her as the bride and as the bridge and as the breath. So all these BRs, bride and bridge and breath. She is the living breath of spirit, and therefore that power of Awen, which is a word that you hear, it's a sacred sonic vibration that is chanted by the ageless wisdom beings of the Celtic lands, the Druids, the priestesses, and it means the flowing spirit and that which regenerates and that which rejuvenates. And it's a sound vibration that also opens up interconnectivity so that we really remember that we're all in this interconnected web of life. So Bridget is one of the keepers and bestowers of the breath and of the flowing spirit of Awen. She is bride as the bride of light, the bride of emergence, the bride of the stirring, quickening energies of the earth in the early beginnings of spring. And she is the bridge. She is known to have the empowerment of a mantle that is the rainbow bridge, so that where light touches water in the sky and it opens up through the gateway of the spectrum of the full color vibration of our being. And she is literally a bridge through the ancient ways. And then when Christianity comes to the lands. And so here is a beautiful, what I love about Bridget is that she's known as Goddess Brida, Bridhi, Brigantia. She has many names. And through the Tuatha De Danann, and you'll hear some of these stories in a moment with our beloved Dave. And then as Christianity comes to the land, she becomes saint. So goddess and saint. Now, I have traveled to Ireland many times. I am deeply Irish, and I go to Féile Brida, which is a festival that celebrates the light of Bridget right at this time. It's artisans and activists and healers, and I've gone several times. And that's where I then met more of my teachers, John O'Donoghue being one of the key ones at the Healing Well and Springs of Bridget. And so you're going to see me weave a little bit of this in, and a great, great being and friend, Luca Bloom, who wrote this song that Masood was playing for you, Don't Be Afraid of the Light That Shines Within You. And he wrote this for Bridget, and inspired by Marianne Williamson's a great poem as well. So we're going to just weave it all in. I love Kildare. Kildare is known as the Church of the Oak, and that is the sacred land of Bridget. Okay, so let's begin this great weaving. Thank you so much for being here, and we're going to co-create and celebrate in the power of community. So what we will first do is we're going to chant Awen. So it's like Amen, or as some really sing and chant, that sacred word is Amen. This is Awen, A-W-E-N. And we could chant it through the power of 3, 3, and 3 for the code of 9, which is sacred in the priestess druid ways of the Celtic lands. We can also chant it Awen, and we can chant it as A-U-Wen, very similar to Om, like like this. So what we're going to do is we're going to open the gateway by really chanting Awen, and I will chant it 3 times. Then Masood will chant with his voice 3 times, and then Dave 3 times. So you can hear by the power of 3, and you'll be chanting the whole time. And to initiate this great gathering of earth magic, I have this beautiful special candle from a ritual priestess sister, Amanda Giacomini. And so I'm going to call in the opening through the gateway of Awen, and we'll all chant 9 times. Then Dave is going to come in and offer an invocation of Bridget through his heart and the inner landscape of his great being and connection with Bridget and Imbolc. And then I'll bring us into invocation, and then a few awesome slides and teachings, and we'll continue the journey in this way. So we welcome each other. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As I light this candle, go ahead and make this awesome heart fire, the Bridget of the hearth and the heart. Really call it in, and now take this blessing breath in. Blow the blessing breath into your hands. Give a blessing into your space. I light this candle at the beginning of our journey together by the flaming spirit of Bridget, by the spark of inspiration that is Bridget, by the triple flame that is Bridget. She who is keeper of the flame, her priestesses of the goddess Brida, who tended the sacred flame for thousands and thousands of years. It was banned, but it was relit, and it is still tended to this very day by the sisters and priestesses in Kildare, Ireland. This flame has gone across the lands into Avalon and the Oracle of Delphi and many sacred sites around the world. So by the flame of Bridget, and by the flame of inspiration, and by the living and the holy flame of each and every one of us, we welcome Bridget, the spark and the flame, the light of the heart, and this holy, holy name, as bride of light, as the breath of Awen, as the rainbow bridge that connects us all through healing, through justice, through equity, through well-being, through happiness, through liberation for all. We now chant Awen by the power of 3 times 3 and invoke this space together in the sacredness and in the empowerment and in the celebration of community. Awen. 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 Here comes Miss.
Awen. Awen. Awen.
And Dave.
Awen. Awen. Awen.
Thank you. And Dave, please open the gateways through the blessings of your invocation with Bridget. Thank you.
Goddess Bridget, open my heart and mind. Help us to listen, to see your gifts. Help us to understand what we see around us, what we hear. Help inspire us. Open our minds, hearts, spirits to each other, to great wisdom, nature, and healing.
Thank you. Blessed be. I'm going to call in through the directions through Bridget. Masood's going to play a little bit of the handpan. I'll stay facing the camera, but it will be very nice if you know the directions in your space of the east. So we'll turn east first, and then we'll turn to the south, and then to the west, and then to the north. Now, in this particular honoring, in this wheel of directions of the sacred circle, the east is the air, the south is the fire, the west is the water, and the north is the earth. And so blessed, blessed be, beautiful family. If you can rise up and turn your body, your mind, and your heart to the east. By the blessed direction of the east and the dawn of each new day and the rising of the light of the sun, we call upon the power of Bridget as the very breath of each new dawn and day within our hearts and our minds and our bodies. Refresh us, rejuvenate us, help to expand our innermost sight. Help us to connect in the infinite rays of our deep shared humanity. Oh, Bridget, the blessings of the breath of dawn be with us now, and we give so much gratitude and praise. Blessed, blessed be. Beautiful family, turn a quarter turn and to the south and to the magic and the power of fire, lighting up our creativity, lighting up our bravery and our courage. Oh, Bridget, she who is, you who are the essence and the empowerment of the triple flame of love, of power, of wisdom. Ignite within us in heart and heart this holy action that is the spirit of fire. Help to wake up our minds, open the flame of our hearts, install the flame of our solar power, of our bravery. May we rise as love in action and really be here for justice for all beings, just as you have shown the way again and again. Light us up in our creativity so that we can see through the gateway of imagination resolution for problems that we couldn't figure out before. May we rise up as this living, blazing flame of Bridget. We give all our praise and thank you to the power of Bridget, she who is the guardian and the sacred keeper of the triple flame. And beautiful family, turn a quarter turn and to the west, and we invite the magic, the mystery, the deep love of the waters of life and the waters of the Imram, of the deep soul journeys at the far western gates, moving through the oceans and the soul realms that connect us into our deepest ancestral memories and into our lineage and our legacy, into these mother cauldron waters that rejuvenate, that restore us in every possible way. Oh, Bridget, you who are the beauty of every living sacred spring and holy well all across the lands, all across this great earth. May we remember you every time we come to the bubbling spring, to the mist and the air, to that power of the light catching the dewdrop that opens up into the rainbow, rainbow, rainbow bridge of all interconnectivity. We call upon the power of Bridget, of the holy springs, of the holy wells, of the sacred springs all around and within, that we may drink from the inner well. And we ask here for the empowerment of healing, the blessings of healings for our bodies, for our lives, for our homes and families, for this great earth. Hold in your heart, family, any way that you are calling healing into your life, and for anyone that you want to send the blessings of healing to during this journey together and all through this week of Imbolc. Really call this in, sing the praises, sing the healing songs, send this blessing energy through. We give thanks to Bridget of the holy wells and the sacred springs and the rainbow bridge of all interconnectivity. Beautiful, beautiful family. Let's turn a quarter turn and to the north, to this great empowerment of the magic of the element of earth as our physical bodies, as spirit into matter. Bridget, who spreads her great mantle across all the earth and all the land, bringing food to the people, being a protector of the children, taking care of the needs of the beings of the earth in whatever way that might be. We are physical beings on a physical earth, and we all have needs to be fed, to have water, to have clean air, to have shelter. Bridget, as woman and goddess and saint of the earth, is caretaking and opening up that remembrance in each of us to really tend to our families, our homes, our communities, to the earth, to all beings, share the resources. Collective care is essential, is necessary, is here through this gateway. Help us to really honor the physicality and to share the resources and the abundance in every way. We give great thanks for the power of the physicality of our being and for the remembrance and the awakening to really, really care deeply for each other and support each other. Thank you. Blessed be. And then into the roots of the earth, just breathe down through your roots, down, down, down into the earth, down into the earth star chakra. You might visualize us as a great oak grove, as that beloved oak forest of Bridget, and sending the roots down deep into the fertile earth, into the earth star chakra. And from those holy roots, reach up, up, up into the soul star chakra. Bridget, who is also known as the keeper of the stars and of the star destiny. She is lunar and solar. She is earth, stars, sun, and moon. So be and feel yourself as this living channel, and now bring it right in to your own heart and belly and wherever you feel it, and give this blessing to yourself and open yourself to the blessings of Bridget and at the earth magic of Imbolc. What is stirring in you? What is quickening in you? What is awakening in you at this time? This is our journey and our honoring and our celebration at this time. Blessed, blessed be. And we open it now. We're going to take a little journey with Dave, and he's going to share some stories of Bridget, and as it comes through him, and then I'll take us through a few slides, and then we'll come into a healing ritual, and Dave will be playing this beautiful music. So cozy up, everyone, and thank you. We welcome you, Dave.
Thanks for that beautiful opening ceremony, calling into directions and creating that safe container for us to be in. My name is Dave Hoover. I'm the son of Robert, son of Guy, and the son of Alice, the daughter of Mary. And I am a bard. The bards, we're the storytellers and musicians, and also the lineage keepers, so that they would know the lineages of all the people, and connects us into our bodies and into where we live and where we come from. The stories are an ancient technology, so to help us remember who we are and where we come from. And they're encoded with wisdom. So they're talking on multiple layers all at the same time. It is like a living fractal of understanding what was, what is, and what will be, all simultaneously. So when we listen to the stories, it's important to let go of our rational minds and understand that they're speaking to us in many different ways and times and spaces all at the same time. And it's also, I can tell you what the stories mean to me, but the story is going to mean something different to the listener. And not only to each person, but every time you hear it, it's going to mean something different to you. So, being a lineage keeper, I want to talk a little about Bridget's family, where she comes from. So I'll play a little bit and set the space here. Bridget was the daughter of the Daida. And the Daida is the harper of the Tuatha De Danann. He's the chief druid. He's also known as the good god. He has many, many other names, and they all reference many, many stories. Some we don't know what the references are. And as the daughter of the Daida, we understand some of Bridget's qualities through him. Now, we don't exactly know her mother. The Daida had 2 different consorts that we know of, and many more, but children by 2. One being the Morrigan, the goddess of, sometimes thought of as war, but she's very fierce. She's the raven of battle. But it's also could possibly be her mother is Boann. And Boann is the goddess of the river, and perhaps the river itself, perhaps the river Boyne. And we don't have an account of Bridget's birth, but we have what would be her brothers. And this is that account. Now, when the river goddess Boann was giving birth, there were 3 sons. And in the beginning, she was crying out. And the birth was very difficult. It was very painful for Boann, so she was crying out. And the music was sorrowful while this was happening. And this child was named Goltry. This is the music of sadness. Now the second of the triplets was being born. And this child was actually born very easily. And Boann had great relief at this. This child was named Gentry, and this was the music of laughter and dancing. Now the third child was being born, and it was so peaceful that Boann and everyone was lulled into a sleep. This child was named Swaintry. So from that point on, these are the three strains of music that are played not only on the harp, but on all of the instruments. So these are Bridget's brothers. And so one of the things that I take from this is that the river, the emotional body, this Western gateway through the heart, is the way we connect through our emotional bodies, and what connects Bridget to being a healer, and also connects her to the waters, connects her to those healing blessed wells. And through the music, these three different strains of music, this is how we're able to connect to her and to those healing powers of that music in that way. So this is her connection to her family. Now, another connection to a different part of her family is through her husband, Bress. In the story of the Tuatha Danann, they were fighting with the Fomorians. And this was a mythical battle that was happening with the Tuatha Danann and the Fomorians for who would be ruling over that land, who is in relationship with that place. And it is a very long, extended story. It is the essentially the origin stories of the Irish people, and it's quite profound. I'll actually put a link in with one of my favorite storytellers that tells the whole thing. It takes over an hour to do it. In the story, Bridget is married to Bress, and Bress is one of the Fomorians. He's actually of both. His mother is of the Tuatha Danann, and his father is a Fomorian. And he becomes king. And Bress and Bridget have a child, Ruadan. Now, Ruadan is fighting on the side of the Fomorians, but he comes over as a spy because somehow the Fomorians can't figure out why is it that each day when we go to battle and the battle ends, well, our warriors are injured and their spears are all dull. And when we come back in the morning, the Tuatha Danann, all of their warriors are brought back to life, and all of their weapons are just as sharp as when they started. So they send Ruadan to go and see. They say, well, hey, you're part Tuatha Danann, you'll be able to go over there. Go see how they're doing it. So he goes over, and he sees that Goibnu the smith every day is taking the weapons and he resharpens them, reforges them, and Credne puts in the rivet, the silversmith, and then the spoke shave is used to make the spears, and then the crone is sharpening the weapons. And each of the warriors they take and they put into the well of rebirth and is brought back to life again. So he comes and he asks to make me a spear, please. They make him a spear. He takes that spear and he stabs Goibnu, the smith. Now Goibnu takes that spear out and throws it right back at Ruadan, and he is mortally wounded. And Bridget sees this, and she goes to him, and she's overcome with grief, and she's wailing for the death of her son. And this is the first keening that happens in Ireland, and the beginning of that tradition of that very outwardly wailing and weeping in grief. So in that story, we see her connection to the smiths, the smith fires, the rebirth in the well, and her connection to that grieving and for her child. And those are the two I'd like to share today. And I'm going to turn it back over to Sianna for now.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. Yeah, I really feel that in the three streams of the music and these stories. Thank you. Okay, everyone. I'm going to just share a couple slides, and Moose, we just make sure I do it correctly. I just think he has it all set up for me. Okay. Yes, here we go. No, why do we have that? There we go. Okay, here we are. This is Awen. You can see a symbol of Awen, the flowing spirit, Celtic Druid prayer to acknowledge the flowing spirit of all life. Can be translated to poetic inspiration. And in the Welsh tradition, it is the inspiration of poets and bards. And so all that we, Bridget, is considered to be a divine spark of Awen. And so one of my teachers is Mara Freeman. I love her and revere her. We welcome you, Bridget, on Candlemas Eve. We pray for your blessing, new life to receive. O Mother of Poetry, teach us your art, that your inspiration may enter each heart. O Mistress of Magic that stands by the fire and shapes the bright metal to the form you desire. O Mother of Smithcraft, please teach us your art, that the power of changing may enter each heart. You kindle the springtime to quicken the earth. From under your mantle, the old has new birth. O Mother of Healing, please teach us your art, that peace and contentment may enter each heart. So let's take that in. And what I would encourage you to do now is, as I take you just for about 10 minutes through these slides, like have a journal nearby and draw things or write words that inspire you, because part of the ritual of the Imbolc and this Wheel of the Year Gateway is to really write your own poetry, to share your stories, to sing your songs, write lyrics to a new song that might come through you. So whatever sparks you and catches fire and inspires you, then just start to write it down or draw, and you'll see at the end that something just might be there for you. Hey, I just saw we have 33 slides. That's my number. Okay, this is from Dave. When we deeply tune into nature, the songs come to us in the wind and water, earth and fire. Our connection to the rhythms of the earth are a prerequisite for inspiration. And then I love this. We are inspirited by surrender. Thank you, Dave. We want to really honor what's happening in the world. And Bridget, through her stories as both goddess and saint, and through the mytho-poetical, as well as through the legends of Bridget as a woman who walked upon this great earth, no matter where the origin stories and legends come from, she is always a keeper of justice and equity, and looks out for the care of all beings. And we know that there's just so much intensity on the earth and so much injustice, and this keening that Dave spoke of really grieving the injustices and the senseless deaths and the oppression. This is part of Bridget's call to action for each of us. So we will like to spend a few moments really honoring what's happening on the earth right now. And this is this beautiful soul. And we, Tyree Nichols, we really honor you. And so grieve for this very senseless death that has happened here in the United States, and your mother and your stepfather and your 4-year-old son, your family, your friends, your community. I'm really holding this family and in my heart and this blessed soul as we come through this gateway with Bridget. And just as in the story that Dave shared, and he might speak to it a little more, we spoke yesterday, but he's really feeling this, and a mother to lose a child. And let's just take a moment to really hold in our hearts the grief and the sending of just our heart energy to this family, and anywhere in the world that you want to really send your full heart energy to. We take this moment to really honor. Thank you for your life. Thank you for your great soul. Thank you for your creativity. Thank you for your imagination. Thank you for your free spiritedness. Thank you for your kindness. Thank you for your love. We continue to sing for Masa Amini. Take a few moments to sing here together. Zan Zan Degi Azadi. So women, life, and freedom, for everything that, all the injustice and all the just executions and the imprisonment and trying to staunch the flow of freedom for all beings. So we sing now a few lines, and Masood can join me too. And then just everyone just sing with your hearts, and we keep generating this blessing field of energy. Zan Zan Degi Azadi. 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 Now this song we'll continue to sing now together, and this one is a song from Starhawk, and it was written as a chant as you go to the White Spring, the Holy Well in Avalon, and in honor of Bridget. When you walk into the White Spring and at the Chalice Wells in the land of Glastonbury of Avalon, there is a whole temple to Bridget, and she is holding that flame from Kildare, the one that's tended to 24/7, also in Avalon. And then my teacher, Gina McGarry, was close with Starhawk, and so I grew up in these lineages with like these songs, and then a beautiful soul sister, an amazing yogini activist, priestess, temple keeper, ritualist, Susanna Sterling, shared this beautiful song with us several years ago at a priestess gathering. So we'll learn this one and we'll sing it several times. We're going to bring it back a little later in our ritual space in just about 15 minutes or so. So we will never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. Then there's another verse, but we'll focus on this first one. We will never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. We will never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. This image behind this is in Kildare, Ireland, and this is one of the sacred places of Bridget, and this is at the well, and this is also where I met John O'Donoghue in 1996, who became one of my great teachers of Celtic wisdom. And here he is John O'Donoghue, who passed, and whose legacy lives through so many. I know Annette is a deep lover of his poetry, and may you experience each day as a sacred gift woven around the heart of wonder. Would you hand me that Anamkara book over here? And I'm just gonna have Annette, if you could come off of mute because you love John O'Donoghue and read this poem to us. It moves down to the left and then over to the right.
Okay. Can you hear me?
We hear you. Thank you.
Okay. For a new beginning. In out-of-way places of the heart, where your thoughts never think to wander, this beginning has been quietly forming, waiting until you are ready to emerge. For a long time, it has watched your desire, feeling the emptiness growing inside you, noticing how you willed yourself on, still unable to leave what you had outgrown. It watched you play with the seduction of safety and the gray promises that sameness whispered, heard the waves of turmoil rise and relent, wondered, would you always live like this? Then the delight when your courage kindled and out you stepped onto new ground, your eyes young again with the energy and dream, a path of plenitude opening before you. Though your destination is not yet clear, you can trust the promise of this opening. Unfurl yourself into the grace of beginning that is one with your life desire. Awaken your spirit to adventure, hold nothing back, learn to find ease in risk. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you. Soon you will be home in a new rhythm, for your soul senses the world that awaits you.
Blessed, blessed be. Thank you, Annette. Thank you, John O'Donoghue. Here's another beautiful friend of mine that I met at the Well of Kildare. His name's Luca Bloom. And that opening song that Moose was playing for you, I would just stream it. It's on Spotify. Don't be afraid of the light that shines within you. And I'll play it right at the end of our ritual too. So he really wrote this for Bridget. He's a devotee and a great lover of Bridget. And I also met Luca Bloom at Bridget's well. So out of the cold, dark winter space, we come together looking for Bridget's grace. We dip our open hands deep into the well where our rivers run. Who can tell? Who can tell? We warm our hearts and faces in the heat of the burning flames. Something about our spirit never stays the same. Don't be afraid of the light that shines within you. Okay, here we go, just on a short little journey, and you'll receive these. So Imbolc itself means in the belly. Oy milk, the ewe's milk. It's a time of the quickening, of the awakening, of the nourishment. It's been a long, cold winter, and we're still in it. And yet the signs of life are popping up through the snowdrops in the places that have snow, in the dandelion power that makes its breakthrough in the earth, in the crocuses that rise, in the stirrings of the earth. This is the earliest announcement of spring itself. And it is right in between the winter solstice and the spring equinox. We are also in the Aquarius season and in the time of the visionary. So those friends who are joining Ritual 13 Moon Mystery School and who were with us last year and joining this year, this is the Aquarius visionary empowerment in the priestess wheel. Some aspects, the divine spark, this is seeds of new vision. Remember these things, and again, write anything that catches you, that ignites you. Vitality, potency, fertility, ignite the inner fire. It's calling in to live your dreams and visions fully. It's the initiation of the return of solar power growing. It's sexual initiatory rites of passage. It's time to grow insights, understanding. It brings hope, energy, and good vibrations. Triple goddess becomes her virgin maiden self again, brings forth ideas and incubation into germination. This is the power of intuition, inspiration, divination, divine spark. It's the secret alchemy of Imbolc lies within sexual union. It's the release of old patterns, conditioning, and fear lines. It's purification as an empowerment versus a repression. It honors the power of menstrual flow and intuitive wisdom. It is time for making healing medicines from the spring waters. It's sexual love, erotic play, and all acts of pleasure emerging. This is the sacred fire. One of her epithets is she who is the fiery one, the blazing one, the exalted one, the highly exalted one. This is the promise of spring and the last part of the cold winter months. It begins to clear away stagnancy, dullness, and lethargy. That's in the, in the whole field, but also in our psyche too. It's divination time. It's increased energy for manifesting vision and bringing new ideas into form. It's called the serpent energy rising. This is the uncoiling of the Kundalini Shakti. It is all forms of creativity, of poetry and song, all forms of creativity sacred to Bridget. It is the return of Persephone from the underworld. It is the maiden goddesses in all these forms. It is welcoming of the first lambs, the crocus flowers, the emerging woodland snowdrops. This is the sexual union of the dark unconscious and the active conscious energies. It is union of priestess and sun king to bring new life, growth, manifestation. It is the true meaning of virgin as being sovereign of our own sexual energy. And it is reclaiming the power that has been forgotten, repressed, or hidden out of sight. This is a bunch of us up on the hill of the Tour in Avalon, and with our beautiful beloved Draupadi as well. Here are various themes and colors and animals. And so this is a time of oat cakes and ginger tea and dandelion, all of which I have up on the altar here, and symbols of sun wheels and candles and Bridget's cross, the strips of healing cloth, water from healing springs. Okay, this is coming into our ritual. So even if you don't have it with you now, you can do it this week. You can have a strip of cloth, and in the traditions I was trained in, it can be white or blue, but the truth is she's the rainbow cloth, so it can be any color that calls to you. And what you do is you hang it in a tree through this time of the year on Bridget's Eve and into Imbolc Day. In the Celtic wisdom, the beginning of things is in the dark. So the beginning of a festival always begins like on the sunset of the eve before, or the beginning of a day begins at sunset when you start to go into the dark, or the beginning of the year could be at Samhain and Yule at that dark time of the year, because everything begins in the dark, deep in the belly of the earth, through the soils, in the womb of the creation. And so it really honors by starting in the evening. So you could go out at sunset, let's say Monday or Tuesday of this week, and go find a tree and go sing and give gifts at the tree, leave gifts of milk and oat cakes and tie ribbons in the tree, and then hang this cloth. And then ask the power of the awakening of spring and the power of Bridget to bless this cloth. And then it's a healing cloth for the year. And I've been doing this every year now for 30 years. And some of my cloths continue to live in trees all over the world. I have one of my Bridget's cloth that goes over my mother every night. My sister puts it over her as she tucks her into bed, because my sister is the great care. She's the one who tends my mother through these last stages of Alzheimer's. And so my mother gets covered in Bridget's cloth every night by my sister. And so these are just some of the beautiful rituals. Here's the Bridget's cross. I have one on the altar here, and you can weave them. I've done that many times with the reeds and by the waters, where you can purchase them, and then you hang it at a doorway, and it really blesses the doorway and the entryways, and you can place one on your altar, and it's really representing the gateways of nature through the earth, the water, the fire, the air. It also honors the great tools from the four directions and the magical people of the Tuatha and the sword of truth, the spear of light, the cauldron of plenty, and the stone of destiny. The great stone of destiny at the hill of Tara, as a matter of fact, in Ireland. Here's more about the healing cloth. We're going to work with a candle in just a moment, and the Bridget's cross. All forms of water from springs is really considered sacred ground at this time. So as you create your altars through this week, you want to really have things that really symbolize the awakening of the earth and the geography of where you live. So I have on the altar, I collected rosemary and lavender and dandelions from just our front yard here. And have your poetry, if you're songwriters, I know Ian, Priya, and there's others of you who are keepers of the magical ways of song, Moose and Dave. These are the times to really ask for the blessings of inspiration for writing more songs, writing the lyrics of the songs. Bridget, goddess and saint, you see her names in many ways as Bridget, Brida, Brigid, Brigid, Bridget, Bridhe, Brigid, Brigantia, Brigandil, Celtic triple goddess of healing, poetry, and craft. She who is keeper of the sacred spring, the exalted one, she who is the power of strength, the bright and shining arrow, the fiery arrow of power, the keeper of this sacred flame, of sacred spring and sacred flame. Goddess of all wind, goddess of the hearth, goddess of the dawn, goddess of the sacred flame, goddess of the divine spark, goddess of sacred springs. Okay. On the eve of Imbolc, so in the Celtic Wheel of the Year is February 1st of Imbolc. Through Christianity, they come to call it Candlemas, so you may have heard of that. In the lighting of the candles in the churches, it's all connected with this. It's also sometimes celebrated February 2nd. On the eve of Imbolc, it said that the old woman, the crone who Dave invoked, the old woman, the old wise woman, Collier, drinks from the sacred well of Bridget, and she's transformed into the maiden goddess herself. She is both solar and lunar goddess. It is the power of the serpent energy that rises in our psyche, the Kundalini Shakti, the igniting of the sexual energy within. Consider this like the awakening of Eros of spring. That's really the key to it. So it's the awakening of Eros. And oh, Bridget, and the fire of creativity that brings forth poetry, music, and art, the fire in the head that is the hallmark of shamans, seers, and bards, the fire of the forge that symbolizes transformation, the fire in the healing of the hands, the fire of the medicines and the magical herbs, the fire of the sun emerging from winter slumber, the fire at the center of the earth, waking up once more to spring. Here she is as lady of these four elements, of the dawn and the blessings and the morning sunbeams, of the fire from earth to sky. She is the power that protects all warriors who lay down their swords and instead of fighting against each other, actually become keepers, protectors, and care for each other. She's Lady of Justice and Peace, presides over all healing wells and springs, guardian of all people who work the land, of all children. And it said that whatever her hand touches, she increases the yield of the land and brings the nourishment, the food, and all prosperity. Her call to action on the personal level is stirring creative energies within ourselves. She has a special love of the bards and the poets, of all those who write and speak and sing. And then for the collective call to action, it is calling us to rise up and really serve, to be a protector, to really serve, to stand for equity and justice and do what we can and call ourselves into greater responsibility. Like, how are we going to respond to the challenges and the adversities at hand, to be responsible and accountable as as a connected field, a collective energy. So do what you can and call yourself to even more. We're going to enter this healing ritual space. So first I'm going to name it, and then we'll be in it, and then I will go on mute and Dave's going to be playing this beautiful music. So what we're going to do right now is if you have any type of bowl of water, then have that, and you could have a chalice, a bowl, whatever you like. If you have a cloth that you would like to dedicate as a healing cloth, and a cloth that you might then go hang out in a tree over these next few nights. If you have any medicines that you're working with, or like I have a photo of my mom and dad, and I'm generating healing, blessing energy for them on the altar. And then we're going to anoint. If you have a candle, if you have a white candle, that's great. We're going to anoint our candle with oils and herbs, or just with your prayers and blessings, and by the power of Awen. And then after you anoint it, I'm going to stop the screen share in a moment to show you. What I do is I take the candle and I have an oil that I'm going to show you in a moment. And then I put the herbs into the oil, and then I anoint the candle with the oil. Then you can inscribe into your candle whatever you want, but I just wrote the words. You could write in there, inspire me, oh, Bridget, inspire me, or however you want to word that. And then we're going to light that candle and see it as the living flame of Bridget, as that spark of inspiration that flows through each of us. And then we take that healing cloth and we wrap it right around our own body. And then I'll talk you through like stirring symbols of healing into the bowl of water as we chant and sing it into it. And then there's going to be these journaling. This is where I'll pull the slide back up so you can see the journal questions. What healing are you calling in? What are you ready to clear in your life? What are you ready to forgive and bless? What inspiration do you call now in to flow through you? And you'll be journaling that. Then Dave's going to be playing this beautiful music. And what I'd love is if you would write a letter to yourself at this time, or you might be called to write a letter to someone else too. But if you feel it, write a letter to yourself, a letter of forgiveness, and a letter of really release and let go. Imbolc is the early spring. Think of this as like spring cleaning. So now you want to consider the spring cleaning in your own psyche. What are you holding on to, like the burdens in your own self, the ways that maybe the inner critic is turned up on high volume? And write a letter of clearing, of inner spring cleaning for your own psyche, your own self. And whatever you're now ready to release and like really bless. And then over the next, when you feel it, keep this letter on your altar. But then when you feel it, burn that letter and then give the ashes out. Perhaps give those ashes at the base of the tree where your healing cloth is soaking in these energies. Okay, so that'll be a possibility for you. So I'll show you this. I'll call this in. This is just a few of the blessings that I'll bring in for the moment. And then you'll have all of these questions that I'll pull back up for you. So I'm going to stop the share, and I want to show you now. And here's where Moose maybe can help me gather a few things too. And Dave will be setting that. So I've got this whole altar over here. I need to have the rolling altar for those of you who were with us with Sri Devi. And she has a rolling altar. I'm going to bring this over. So, okay, I want to just show you one of the ways of working with candle magic, because you'll be doing this. Here's a Bridget's cross that I always have at the altar. So I have a white candle that I'm working with. Then this is from Avalon, and it's a spot. There's a spiral in there, and I've placed the oil in there, and there's an image of the Carnunos. gatekeeper. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the herbs that I'm working with. I have some lavender from the land. I have some rosemary from the land. I'm putting them all in the oil. I also chose to bring some dandelion in, which is connected with Bridget. And then, would you get one bay leaf for me from the bag there? It's right here at the altar. I'm working with basil. So I'm just showing you ways that you can do a little kitchen witch kind of magic. So I'm sprinkling that in. Bay you can work with Bridget, and for all forms of prosperity, those in the abundance, know that we deal with this a lot. So now I'm mixing all these herbs in, and then what you do, so you have the herbs in, then you could take your candle, and you can do this with me right now. If you're working with a candle, go ahead and you can have like a little knife or an uptame. I'm going to use my fingernail, and I'm writing in here, inspire, which actually you all are going to get a newsletter soon. I have chosen for my 2023 tour name, Inspire. And my particular, I really want to go through the gateway of the inspiration for community. So I've written inspire in here. So Bridget, inspire me, and we're calling this in. And then I'm going to anoint the candle. So now you take that oil with all those herbs. I might need just like a little towel because I'm going to have oil everywhere. You should see when I do honey herb crafting, the whole house is covered in honey at different points. That's always a lot of fun. Then I also have here, I have some oat cakes for Bridget, and I have some milk, and I'm going to go take those out by the tree where I hang the cloth. So just get your candle ready in this way. And you can always rub the oils all over your body and on your skin and your hair, because that's nice too. Thank you. Moose, if you would get the incense ready. I have three that are Bridget, Avalon, and little bit of dragon magic too for us. Okay, so I'm going to show you now. You're going to have your journals ready, but I'm going to take you back to this so we can call in these four. So as the power of the air, Moose is going to light the incense, and we're working with a Bridget incense from Avalon, as well as an Avalon incense, as well as dragon. So the dragon energies, I've got dragons all around me that you can't see, but dragons are like the energies of the earth, the dragon lines of the earth. Think of it as keepers of the song lines too, the energy lines, the song lines, the dragon lines, the song keepers, and the song lines of the earth. So as we light this, the power of the element of air, symbolic through the incense, Blessed Bridget, Mother of the Light, accept this incense as a symbol of breath, that we may know its sacredness. Help us to remember that when we breathe in your nourishing love. And when we breathe out, we nourish you with ours. So here then, beautiful family, you may have an incense or just connect with your breath. And we're bringing this incense together. Moose is helping me.
That's great.
Yeah, great, thank you. Connect with your breath. And if you like to do this little Tai Chi kind of flow. And as the breath rises and releases, move the hands. So that as you inhale, it's the flowering, the nourishment of the breath. As you exhale, it's the releasing and the grounding. And connect with your breath and through the power of the air. And if you have an incense that you're working with, and really see this as a great blessing, and call in the blessing energy of Awen. And you can sing and chant Awen, the blessing of the air. The blessing of inspiration flowing through you. If you have an incense, then really send it all around your body. Anyone who's in the house with you and over your altar, over the candle, over the waters, over the foods, over your journal, over everything, and really bless. And then you can carry the incense around, part of spring cleaning, like really clear things out of your house that you don't need and continue to pass things forward. And also go around with incense around the whole house and outside it too. Moose did that for us this morning. We're going to come to the flame now. And here's where we're going to be lighting the candle. So I'm going to give Moose his. Now you can take your candle, and Moose, if you want to anoint yours, and again, write in it. If you haven't, just inscribe in it, whatever you want. Maybe there's something particular that you were asking for healing with in your life. You could write that into your candle. Here's your candle right here. And then you can anoint it with the herbs like I showed you. And now as we light this candle, Bridget, accept this oil and this flame as a symbol of the fire, that we may know its sacredness. Help us to remember that the fire of your spirit dances within us, as the fire of our spirit dances within you. So light your flame, really see it and breathe this in as the blessings that ignite the spark of creative energy and vision within you. Call in your creativity and call in your bravery too. Your bravery to rise up for justice, for healing, for protection. Then place that flame somewhere nearby. This flame of Bridget, maybe you can work on mine a little bit. And then I'm going to come to, if you have your bowl of water, go ahead and get the bowl of water. And we're going to take that bowl of water and take your finger, or if you want to use like an herb like rosemary or lavender, whatever you might have, and take the cloth. I have my healing cloth of Bridget wrapped around the bowl of water. You could put that cloth right over your body now and wear it. And then take the bowl of water and again, bless it with the breath of Awen, sing Awen into it. Take the light of the flame and bless the water. And then begin to draw symbols in the water or write into the water. I'm drawing different symbols. You could draw the Bridget's cross, you could draw infinity signs, see what calls to you, but make the blessings into the water. So we have the air and the fire and the blessings of water. Now take the water and sprinkle some of the water onto your body. And if you have healing medicines that you're working with and they're at your altar, then take the water over the healing medicines. I'm going to add to the water the elixirs of rose made by two priestess sisters, Kamiko and Susan. So I'm adding 3 drops of these rose elixirs to the water. And this healing water, you can use it to bless your musical instruments, your journals, your areas and altars of creativity. You can take it around the house. I would encourage you to take the water around the house, which is what I'll do. And I'll encircle the whole house with the protection and the blessing energy of the water. Okay, oh Bridget, Mother of the Waters, accept these fluids as a symbol of water, that we may know the sacred flow. Help us to remember your healing waters flow through our veins as your heartbeat nourishes us. May every beat of our hearts nourish you. And now come to the earth. You might have crystals, you might have food. I have oat cakes and milk and all sorts of things. And then your body, like your physicality of your home, of your body temple. And if you have a food you're going to give to the earth, then just hold it up. And, oh, Bridget, accept this food as your symbol, that we may know your sacredness. Help us to remember that from your body, we are born and nurtured as our bodies nourish you. And that will go to the earth. And now we're going to sing just a few rounds of the song. Let your eyes gaze upon the altar, upon the flame. And let's sing. We will never, never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. Once more, and just really sing to the altar and to the healing cloth and to each other, to the world. We will never, never lose our way to the well of her memory and the power of her living flame. It will rise again. Okay, family, get out your journals and the letter that you're gonna write to yourself. Here are some things you can journal with. I'm gonna go on mute. Dave is gonna play for about the next 5 minutes as you write, as you move, as you send the blessing energy through. You can write with these journal questions and then start writing a letter to yourself that really blesses, releases, clears the way, and opens you up as the living, flowing channel of Awen and the blessings of inspiration of this divine spark of Imbolc. What healing am I calling in? What am I ready to clear in my life? What am I ready to bless and forgive? And what inspiration do I now call to flow through me? And then write your letter, write the lyrics to your new songs, write your verses of poetry, enjoy, and here comes Dave. blessed be. Holding this circle and this flame for all the healing of everyone here, for all your prayers, for all the living inspiration to flow through. We give thanks to the power, to the light, to the breath, to the heart, to the stirring that is the flowing spirit of Bridget. Thank you to the north and to the earth, to the west and the water, the south and the fire, the air and the east. Thank you for each of you and your great hearts and for the power of community. By the air that is her breath, by the fire of her bright spirit, by the waters of her living womb, and by the earth that is her body. The circle is open and unbroken. Merry meet, merry part, and merry meet again. And Dave, if you would like to offer your closing blessings into this earth magic and Imbolc healing journey together, please.
Thank you, guardians. Thank you to all of the helpers. Thank you to the directions. Thank you to each and one of our open hearts and minds for creating this safe space for us, for helping us learn about ourselves more, to connect with nature and sound and touch and smell, with each other's brilliant opening hearts and minds. Please help continue to guide each and every footstep today and every day forward. Thank you. Blessed be.
Blessed be. Thank you, everyone. So beautiful family. Happy Imbolc opening gateway of the Earth Magic of 2023. You can come off of mute and let's have the awesome flower shower. So just come off of mute, bring your voices, bring your sound.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you so much.
Raise your voices, raise your hearts. So amazing. Thank you, everyone. And what we're gonna do is I will, everyone who's joining us through the recording, through the power of cyber, Shakti, space-time continuum, non-continuum, all of it, we welcome you fully. Everyone, we're going to stay for a community sharing. I just turned the recording off so you can really bring, if anyone wants us to pray together, sing together, amplify together, this is our community time and it will not be recorded. And then just remember, as far as if you want to continue the ritual, go take a blue or white scarf or any other color that calls to you, hang it in a tree. I'm going to go up to the oak grove later today with Moose, and then offer your prayers, your songs, and really call in the healing. Then you can use this cloth throughout the year and place it over people who need a little extra love and support. And we carry it into all of our rituals. And as people are transforming and transmuting and crying and releasing or need, you just wrap them up in it and you sing and you pray into it and you continue in this way. Write your letters, burn it when you feel ready, give those ashes. And Dave, well, Masood Ali Khan, thank you, thank you, thank you. And Dave, thank you, thank you, thank you. Moose is saying something to me. He wants me to show you one more thing. So I am gonna find out what that is in just a moment. And then he wants me to, okay. He wants me to show you the final slides. Thank you. Okay, so here's Bridget, and that's in Kildare. Here's all of our ritual and rhythm with the Wheel of the Year. Priya Deepika will be joining us for one of them, to be announced soon. And stay in touch with us. You'll receive these. And if anyone wants to join Ritual 13 Moon Mystery School, this is the month to do it, because we're gonna just take off with our first full, new moon transmission call coming soon. So all of that, thank you, thank you, thank you. Claudia, if she's still here, she can put links in there for you. You're very welcome to join the Ritual 13 Moon Mystery School. We really go for it. And it is so much fun in the ways of magic and really deep understanding and a very powerful sisterhood connection. Okay.